So can you speak about the rewards for taking these risks? How is this deeper passion different than a good, solid, safe friendship? I come home every day, I feel safe, I'm okay. Maybe we don't have the best sex, but so what?
I think for myself as a woman, what came up for me, and again, every woman is different, and how far they want to go into something is completely their own personal preference. My personal preference was that I wanted to have great sex before I died. I know intuitively in my body, and I think a lot of women feel the same way, that passion is a doorway to a higher part of consciousness and a higher part of themselves. And that I believe that orgasms and sexuality are those tools that we can't get there by ourselves, but with our mate's energy coming into our body, I think we can transcend the body, and I think the body can move beyond its experience into a transcendental state. And my experience has been just that when my mate is willing to lovingly from his heart breathe into me, feel into me, push me to that edge and not let me wiggle off that edge, all of a sudden things to come up to be released, emotions come up to be released, all sorts of memories come up to be released, and as they release, I become more healed and whole because I'm not holding that in my body. And when I hold that in my body, it creates illness, it creates dysfunction, it creates distortion that unfortunately my mate has to navigate. And so it's more honest, I think, in passion for you to consciously, actively, constructively go in the direction of releasing those things. And that my man feels very empowered that he knows he can take me there, and he feels very masculine in that I am calmer afterwards, I'm more relaxed, I am easier to live with, I am more peaceful, I'm more loving, and even more so, I'm more devoted. And I think the greatest gift that a feminine can give the masculine is her devotion. And that devotion is earned by his willingness to lean her into the edge of her own fears and her own discomfort and taking her beyond that into the healing of that.
So you're making it sound somewhat like a spiritual experience, but on the other hand, you're also speaking about a healing. Is it both, or is it just one or the other?
To me, it's absolutely both. It's both a spiritual experience, it's both a healing experience. For me, being a feminine being, part of not engaging in this dance, which is pushing past best friends, which is pushing into an edge, which is pushing into less solid ground sometimes, it became critical. Because what happened in my life is really the abnormal became normal and I became numb. So, being best friends with my partner, feeling that, my main push in life was through a masculine energy, that is abnormal for me. That's not my essential energy state. That's not where I can do both. But what do I prefer is I prefer feminine energy. I prefer being in my essence. And so the abnormal was becoming normal for me. And I could have gone the rest of my life and continued to shut it out and be numb. But as Suzanne has mentioned before, again, my energy is depleted. I'm unhappy. Illness creeps in. All sorts of embodied issues start coming up because I'm shoving something so powerful down that it's having to squeak out in different ways. And so to me, that's the healing piece, to really push into that edge with my partner. Again, he can take me places I can't take myself. I can take him places he can't take himself, to heal those pieces of myself that were suppressed for so long. So many times because I had to just accept that the abnormal was normal, I needed another energy, another powerful energy source, my partner, the masculine, to help me release that. I needed the masculine to create such a strong structure for me that I could fall apart into my feminine and put myself back together in a way that was more fully aligned. The spiritual aspect of it to me is realizing that once these pieces start to come into alignment, you start to understand the perfection of it all. but to bring things back into alignment, to clean this lens that's gotten muddy and foggy, to start to see clearly, to start to run energy clearly, all of a sudden you feel like a bigger energy source. Your heart is bigger. Your lower chakras are bigger. It all you become more one with everything that's going on around you. As you suppress energy, as you push it down, you have to literally shut out a lot of what's going on in your life, because you have to do it. If you look at it clearly, you can't remain in that state. So as my partner pushes me into an edge and I surrender and open to it, all of a sudden I really have to connect a lot more with the world around me. And to me, as the feminine, that's where this becomes a spiritual practice.